Yeah, so for the rest of the day, we're gonna create new elements using Polymer. Just like we did yesterday with plain JavaScript, we're gonna see how can we do the same thing with Polymer and create different elements and take advantage of these things that Polymer provides to us. So the first thing is registering an element, right? So with web components, how can we do that with plain JavaScript? Right? We need to create an object based on the HTML element prototype. Then we need to get our document, register that element in our document, right? This is how you create an element. And we can just do that. Just to recap. Actually, I'm just gonna import this. So just open my first index, one-index, and just importing this plain HTML which is empty, and I'm just gonna use my element. Right, so that's how we register elements with plain JavaScript. I'm just gonna open this. Okay, I got this blank page, of course. My element doesn't do anything. It's still here. I can fetch that. So I can see that I'm creating a true HTML element. I have all the properties that I would expect from any HTML element. So that's how we create web components with plain JavaScript. That's how we create custom elements with plain JavaScript. And if we want to do the same thing with Polymer, so let me just change this path over here. And I can just create a script tag. First of all, I need to import Polymer. So you guys already have Polymer on this folder in Power Components. I already did that for you. So let's go back one, path, Polymer, Polymer. So I'm importing Polymer, and then all I need to do is this.
That's registering an element, Polymer.
What?
That's registering an element.
Exactly. So
Which file are you in?
I'm on Polymer 1.
One Polymer?
One Polymer, sorry. So one index I'm just using to import. And first of all, I imported the one plane, and now I'm in plane.
Can I see the plane you did there?
Yep. I just register an element like we did the other days.
Oh.
And I'm just seeing the same thing with Polymer. So if I don't import, of course, it's not going to work because this Polymer object doesn't exist. So I'm just importing Polymer and registering an element with that. All I have is this and this.
And the other file is
The other file we're not using anymore. It's just the same thing. One with plain JavaScript and another with Polymer. I'm just showing off the difference. So you can check it out, how the API looks like, what you need to do to accomplish this thing. Cool?
That's all you gotta do.
That's all you gotta do. Let's inspect that on the browser. So let's take a look into this object. You can see that there's some other stuff going on right now. We have the HTML elements and the HTML properties that any element has, but at the same time we have like two bouncers. We have config, we have client read it, and handlers, owner shady not root. So we have some new stuff, some things that we didn't have on plain JavaScript. And those are like the Polymer utilities that we need to build our things. So now that we register it, we know how this works. Let's move on. So this is plain JavaScript, this is Polymer, just registered the element, that's it. What about lifecycle callbacks? So as we saw yesterday, every component, every element has a lifecycle. This attach callback function is triggered when you put your element on your page, and you have all other lifecycle callbacks. So I'm just gonna explore them, all of them actually, with plain JavaScript. So we have created callback, which is fired when your element was created. An instance of your element was created, right? Remember this one? Yesterday? Cool. We also have the attached callback. That's the one we use the most. This one is fired when an element was inserted into the document. All right? You have detached callback, which is fired when you remove the element from the document. And we have attribute change, which is fired when some attribute changes. So let's explore these ones. Let's see how every single callback works with plain stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead, open the lifecycle folder. I only have I'm gonna open this one index.
That means it's the exact same as the index from the registry.
Sorry?
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
So I'm just gonna demonstrate the lifecycle callbacks that we have with plain JavaScript. Let me copy and paste that code we have already written. This one.
That's from plain.
Yeah, I'm just creating an element like we did multiple times. So I got this. Nothing's working right here, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and put some callback so I can check it out what's going on. Attach callback. What's happening here? Can you guys help me figure this out? What's going on?
Created an element and then appended it to the body.
Cool, right? So this 2 lines of code is the same thing as just putting my element in the page, right? Same stuff. I'm just doing that using JavaScript. That's the only difference. Let's open that in the browser. Check this out. Cool. Attached was fired, right? And my element is here on my page right now. I created this using JavaScript. Right? But what's the difference between attached callback and created callback? This is a question I think like most people still like, okay, what's the difference between these two? So let's create the created callback. Let's put some console and check this out.
Seems like it'd be pretty self-explanatory, you know, like 24 is when it's created, 25 is when it's attached.
Perfect. Let's check this out. Right now I'm creating and I'm attaching. So I'll get both events fired. If I just created but not attach that to the DOM, I only get the created event, right? So yesterday we were like trying to figure out what was the difference. This is the difference. So I'm just gonna put my element over here. Let's check the other ones. Detach, callback. What's happened with this one? So we got our callback. It's gonna fire detached. We got that on our page. So I have that. I'm just gonna, this is what's showing on my console. We fired the created callback, the attached callback, and now let's remove this guy from here. Detach was fired, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Let me put some attribute like blah 500, and now I'm gonna define this attribute changed.
Where's the law 500?
It's on my tag. So I just created this attribute, and I have 3 arguments on this attribute. One is the attribute itself, the attribute name, the old value, and the new value for this. So let me console this. Let's check this out, see what happens. Want some more minutes to type this.
Dean, I just need to mention, by the way, that the highest compliment any teacher can ever be paid, and this is in the history of teaching, going all the way back to like the great Greek universities and amphitheaters and coliseums. The greatest compliment any teacher could ever be paid is for the students not wanting to go to lunch, so they can learn more. It's a very rare occurrence.